recognize your face. Hello, Man on Fire. I like that as a nickname. That is so fun. And I'm also really curious about your real name. So if you ever get inspired to come type in the chat box, I'd be curious to know. Hey, Brandon. So no pressure to come on to video because this is a summit about self-love. And if what is most self-loving for you is not being on video, then great, do that. But today we are Craig. Okay, it's great to have you, Craig. But today we're going to talk about one of my favorite heuristics for decision making, which is choosing by your values. And most people have a general sense of what their values are. They're like, oh yeah, I value adventure. I value compassion. I value this, that, this. So a lot of us have a general sense of what our values are, but we've never really dug into them or used them regularly as a tool for making decisions. And there's a lot of decisions we have to make through the course of our day, right? And sometimes we might make a decision from a space of emotion, like, oh, I feel sad, so I'm going to do this, or I feel bored, so I'm going to do this. Or we might make a decision from a place of like circumstances. Oh, like it's too cold today, I'm not going to go for that run. But when we choose by our values, it creates a whole different paradigm that can invite us into a more self-loving and empowered way to be. So just to get everybody's voice in the space, if you are on video, or even if you're not, feel free to come off mute. And I want to hear from you. What is life like for you when you're living aligned with your values? What does that feel like for you?
Mm. It feels easy, it feels fun, and it feels gratifying.
Yeah, nice. Thanks, Brandon.
For me, it feels exciting and like unstoppable, powerful.
Nice. Craig, how about you? Oh, I'd have to unmute you. Okay. Feel free to put it in the chat because I'm not quite sure how to unmute you.
Oh, John can do that.
Oh, great. Thanks, John. Being in flow, sparkly, and a breath of fresh air. Yes, Julie. Love it.
I feel when I follow my values, I'm open to myself and to people around me.
Beautiful. And then when you're not aligned with your values, when you're unaligned with your values, how is that for you? What do y'all notice? Brandon, I like your frown. That's adorable.
It kind of says it all, I think.
Yeah.
Basically, just the opposite of everything I said before. Feels just bad.
Yeah.
I feel disillusioned.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I usually put in constricted, overwhelming, black. I feel like I understand black. Yeah, absolutely. So it's interesting then if living by our values obviously creates a massive difference in how it feels to be us. It's interesting that we don't use it as often as we could to make decisions. Or my guess is that most people here don't wake up and say, I'm going to think about my values today and make all my decisions from my values. Like, no, we don't do that. And we're going to do a little of that right now. So to really get to what your values are, we're going to do a quick writing exercise to start off. And what I want you to do is to grab a journal, or you can whatever your preferred method for writing is. And I'm going to set a timer for, let's do 5 minutes to start. And then if we need more time, we'll use more time. And you're going to write about a time in your life where you felt totally present and alive. And if you have more time, if you finish the first round, go ahead and write about a second. But a time when you felt totally present and alive. And it could be from when you were 5 years old. It could be from yesterday. It could be a big experience like, going on a 10-day backpacking trip, or it could be just like sitting down and having an amazing meal and what it was like for you. You get lots of bonus points for detail here. So you really want to write about it and bring yourself back into that moment where you felt present and alive. Any questions before I set you guys loose at writing?
Are we focusing more on how we felt, on our surroundings, or actions, or nothing?
Any of that. Yeah. Great question. Any other questions? Good, thumbs up. All right. So I'm going to set a timer for 5 minutes and then I'll check in at the end of that time and go ahead and free write. about 30 more seconds. All right, if you feel like you need more time, go ahead and raise your hand. Are you saying I timed that perfectly? Okay, great. Awesome. I will celebrate myself for having perfect timing. Cool. So I am going to bring one of you off mute to do the next iteration, the next step in this exercise. And I want everybody to pay attention because after I model this with someone, I'm going to send you into breakout rooms and you're going to do it with each other. So you'll be in a pair. Who would be willing to come off mute and play? Brandon and Madeline. Madeline, did I pronounce that correctly? Madeline? Okay. Yeah, Brandon, I saw your hand go up first. Let's do this. Come off mute.
Okie doke.
Okie doke. All right, so I'm gonna have you read what you wrote out loud. And as you're reading, I'm gonna be listening for the values that I hear. So go for it.
Okay. I was hanging out with my friend Iris in a music hall in Vietnam because her friend's friend from Australia was playing in a band there that night. It smelled like a dank music hall, like stale beer, cigarettes, and shisha. We were sitting there in the dark in the crowd of people, and we're just listening to the music together. It was a small show, but the energy was amazing, especially compared to all of the touristy bullshit that we had been around the last 5 days. There were people just enjoying themselves, smoking, drinking, and dancing. We held hands while a local group played dubstep versions of traditional Vietnamese songs, and we had an amazing time together, laughing and listening.
All right, so I'm going to lead with the values that I heard, and then I'm going to invite other folks to type in the chat box what they might have heard. I like that face, Eloah, that, oh my God, what a great story. Yeah, Juliet, celebrate. Cool. So values that I heard, and tell me if any of these don't resonate. Friendship, adventure, connection, energy, authenticity, presence. Great. I heard Craig is saying music, connection, exploration, realness, out of the ordinary, unique. And there was almost, I was curious, it sounded like there was almost a value around edginess or something that's like, what is that, Brandon?
So that was mostly just the place. I don't think I'm a very edgy person.
Yeah. Is it
But
novelty or something?
maybe. Yeah, I prefer places that are off the beaten path, that are not the touristy sort of thing. I hate being a tourist, but I like being a local.
Nice.
And on that trip, that was a basically 1 month trip around Vietnam, and that was the first time on that trip that I had felt like I wasn't a tourist, just like being shepherded from tourist spot A to tourist spot B.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was very novel and very, very adventurous. Yeah, it was really cool.
Nice. So it sounds like it's not edginess, or it's not like that quality isn't quite it, but the authenticity and the adventure really fits.
Yes, definitely.
Beautiful.
Oh, awesome.
Nice. So I want y'all to play with this in your breakout rooms. And the idea is that you're going to read your what you wrote to the other person, and the other person's going to listen and say, oh, I think I hear this, I think I hear that. And at the end, you'll check in with each other like, hey, you know, does this fit? Like, you know, friendship, does that fit for you? Yes, cool. Adventure, does that fit for you? Yes, awesome. And is there anything I didn't say that you already know is a value of yours? So that you guys can create a fairly comprehensive list of what your values actually are. So I'm going to send you out, let's see. Let's do 10 minutes so that each person gets like a really chunky, lovely 5 minutes to explore their values. And please keep time. So the first person will go for 5 minutes, then the second person will go for 5 minutes. I will also keep time, and I'll send a little alert to the breakout rooms when we're about 5 minutes in. And when you come back, we'll do the next step in the exercise. So what questions do you have before I send you out to breakout rooms? None, okay. And just to check in, I see 3 people who aren't on video. Are either of you 3 playing? Because if not, I'm gonna leave you in the main room.
Megan, hi, it's John.
Hey, John.
I've allocated 2 people each to 3 breakout rooms. If somebody's not responding, then we'll just shift it around.
Great. Are you playing?
Not as yet, but if there's one person that goes to the breakout rooms that isn't responding, I'll jump in. I have been playing along, yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I'd love for you to jump in. Also, thank you for making the breakout rooms. That's so nice to have someone doing that. All right, so go ahead and open up the breakout rooms, John. I'm going to set my timer for 5 minutes, and I'll see you all in a little bit.
Hello.
Hello.
This is so cool. Thank you for inviting me, by the way.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to have you. Welcome.
Okay. Do you want to go first or to read your story? What do you want to do?
I would love for you to read your story first.
Okay, cool. So I'm going to kind of like go off of what I said, but kind of say from the moment, I guess. So when I was at the Dragon's Egg dance residency a few weeks ago, me and my dance group spent most of the day dancing, and if we paused for any minute of time, it was just to like eat food and chill for a little bit and talk deeper about what we were doing. And then at night, the nights were filled with bonding and spontaneous adventure, basically. And then the weekend, we just let the surroundings tell us where to go, and we went to like a winery. And when we were at the winery, there was this guy who we didn't know was supposed to be there as like a live singer, and he just started to sing, and we all just ended up dancing, and we all had like solos randomly outside. It was great time. And it just felt like a magical little space, and it felt like we were supposed to do this again, either there or somewhere else, but it felt like filled with energy and promise.
Okay. Do you want me to share what I heard?
Sure. Yeah, I want to know.
I heard togetherness,
Mm-hmm.
a value, adventure,
Mm-hmm.
spontaneity,
Definitely.
discovery,
Mm.
surprise, fun,
Definitely.
magic, and purpose.
I love that one. Purpose. Ooh, purpose. I don't think, because I've done this once before with Megan, and I don't think she got the purpose one when we did it another time. I did another a story, but I like that one.
Okay.
I like that one. That's like really true. I think you were right with all of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did I miss something that maybe it's not in the story, but you might know it's a strong value for you?
Yeah, I think being present is something, and actually I was working on being present when I was there, because I think we did this exercise the day before, or like the week before I went, and that's what I was working on when I was there. So that I think is important too.
I'm also hearing dedication and commitment.
Ah, yeah, it is. And I hadn't thought about that, but it is. I think it's so like such a part of me that I didn't realize that that was like there. Yeah, dedication. Yeah, commitment. Definitely.
Hmm. Any
Good job.
other strong one that we should add there, or you think it's a pretty comprehensive?
I think these all really they hit the nail on the head. I think. Yeah, definitely. I'm excited to hear your story.
Amazing. All right, I'll give it to you. I have to change rooms here. So a time when I felt really aligned was at the top of that mountain in Greece. I had followed my heart. I saw it one day when I was in South Africa, people jumping from this rock, and I felt excited. I wanted to do it. So I took consistent actions to get there, one after the other. It wasn't how I wanted. I didn't get to jump. Or I don't know, it wasn't exactly with the people I would have liked to be there with, but I was there. I made it there. I got to see with my own eyes what that place that I had once saw in a video felt like and looked like. God damn, I traveled through a plane and car and walk, and there I was. Who said I couldn't be there? All it took between dreaming and making it happen was to take one single action after another. I loved that I did it for myself. I had no excuse, no reason to do it or not to do it. It just felt right. It was a goddamn pirate ship, or what the heck they were smuggling. I don't know what, but who cared? For me, there was something true and beautiful about that place. Yes, okay, it was touristic and other people were there for whatever reasons they were there. I was there because I felt alive, because something in me wanted to jump, to let go of, to go for it. I didn't have to do it in the way other people did it. I just had to immerse myself in that feeling. I guess that's what's so special about this experience for me, to allow myself to feel and lead through what brings me joy and passion. To start, even if I don't know how, or if people tell me it's going to take these many jumps, or I don't know what, I don't have to do it how other people have done it, and I can still own it. I listened to me. I got completely out of my way to make me happy because it was beautiful and it made my heart sing. I don't always have to explain it to the world. That opened my that opened my soul, and that made me feel me.
Cool. That sounds like a great time.
Beautiful.
Wow. Well, you're definitely into adventure. That's like definitely there. Joy. And I picked out joy before you said you felt joy at the end. So it's like, yes, awesome. Excitement. We want excitement. Also, you're dedicated to, following through with the plan. I put hard worker because you were talking about how many steps you had to take to get there, even though it didn't feel like hard work.
I think I was going to call that like determination and consistency. Like,
Yes, I was trying to figure out the right word for it, but yes, determination, consistency. I think that's closer to it.
yeah.
Agreed. Yeah. You like to you follow your heart. You follow your heart, and you want to be true to yourself. It didn't matter if someone there wasn't with you or not, or whoever was around you didn't care about what it meant to be there for other people. It meant you cared about what it meant to you, essentially. Yeah. And then feeling alive and passion.
Yeah.
Was there anything that I might have missed or anything that stood out?
I think there's something about like stretching like there's this like
growth.
growth.
Not growth. Trying to reach further than you have before. I'm trying to find the word for it.
I think it's like there's something about like extraordinary, and
reaching.
like pushing limits. I don't know if that's
Yes, pushing limits. That's definitely there. Pushing your limit. And also, I think letting go. Also heard like letting go in that
like
story.
I'd call it surrender. Yeah, like, oh, you know, I went there because I wanted to base jump and I didn't base jump, and like, oh, in the end, who cares, you know? Like, surrender.
Limits. Surrender.
I think beauty is also a value. Like, what really attracted me to that place was just how beautiful it was. Like,
that's nice. How was like the water like really blue and green? Like, what was the color of the water?
and it was like, I think, wild. Like, how can I say? I don't know.
It's kind of like out of this world kind of a moment. Like,
yes,
as you said, extraordinary. Yeah.
I love out of this world. I'm gonna write it like that. I could call it magic or whatever, but I think I like how you said it. Like, out of this world. It's like, oh my god.
Yeah.
And there's something about like other people not seeing it. It's like people just saw it because it was like, oh, it's famous, and it's the same with where I live. It's like, oh, everybody likes it, but like there's something like raw. It's like maybe raw beauty, or
appreciation, maybe appreciation, because you appreciated it but others didn't, and you appreciated it for many reasons. I
don't know how to say that. It's love. Like, I don't know how to say it another way, but
appreciation, love. Well, seeing something that others don't, or
unique.
Yeah, the uniqueness of it.
Welcome back, everyone. Let's hear from a few folks about how that was. Madeline, we haven't heard from you yet. I'd love for you to come off mute and share. Let me just figure out how to unmute you. Or John, can you unmute?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, perfect.
I think I need to just unmute myself. I think that's how it works. Okay, cool. Hello, everyone. That was amazing. Oh my goodness. I don't know how you paired us with each other, but man on fire. Greg is like a genius.
That's amazing.
He is a super listener. Like, seriously? Like, I don't know how you like just got that. Yeah, anyway, I was very impressed. I'm like, wow, it's like, it's so me. It's so amazing. Somebody got me.
Yeah. Was there a certain value he reflected to you that you were like, yeah, that's it?
Every single one. There was more than one. It was just like so spot on. And the reason I'm quite familiar with those things is I've just recently done a different course on really getting to know my own values so that you can brand yourself better, or your company and whatever, because I only want to actually work with people that shares the same values as me. So I needed to know what my values are. And he literally went through every single one from just telling him one story. It's insane. I was like, okay, so now I really do know myself. So that's like, wow. So it's just a little bit of a confirmation of like a few things like that's actually been on my mind for the last few weeks. So yeah, that was a fun exercise.
Good. Oh, I'm so glad.
I don't know if I was as useful to him. I was like, but it was good for me.
I bet he got some takeaways. Craig, what were
Yeah.
your takeaways? Thumbs up.
Okay, cool. Anything else I need to say?
No, that was great. Thank you for sharing.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. I think Craig's sharing his takeaways in the chat box. Anyone else feel inspired to share? All right. All right, so we're moving on to step 2. You guys have a list of your values, and just for my own delight, will you go ahead and throw in the chat box like a few of your values that you identified? Mhm. Mm. Nice. Beautiful. If you're still typing, feel free to keep typing. Ooh, magic is a value. I love that. And I want you to go ahead and circle, let's say up to 10 of those values. And you can do this exercise later with all of them. But for now, go ahead and circle up to 10 of those values that you want to explore a little bit more deeply.
Megan, is it okay if some of my values have 3 words in them instead of just 1 word?
Yeah. All right. And so now I want you to go through each one of those values and write down 2 numbers. We're looking at a scale from 1 to 10, 1 being low, 10 being high. And the first number you write down is how much of that value you're currently experiencing in your life. And the second thing you'll write down is how much you want to be experiencing that in your day-to-day life. How much you're currently experiencing it in your day-to-day and how much you want to be experiencing it in your day-to-day.
And that's from 0 to 10 or whatever.
Exactly. And when you're done, just go ahead and write done in the chat box. Thanks, John. You guys are wrapping up. I'm gonna get more hot water. Brandon is done. It'll take about another 20 seconds. All right. So if you didn't finish, that's totally okay. You can always come back and rank them a little bit later. And now, I'd actually love to share takeaways. So in the chat box, put the value that has the biggest discrepancy, like the one that you ranked the lowest that you want to be the highest, so the one for which the numbers are furthest apart. Which value is that for you? Nice, Brandon. Yeah, Brendan said connection, 3 out of 10. Julie says 6, fun, 6 wants it to be 10. Eloah says out of this world, 4 wants it to be 9. Nice. John says openness, it's a 4 out of 10, wants it to be a 9 out of 10. Beautiful. Great. All right, so this is the value that you are going to play with for this next part of the exercise. And this is another journaling piece. So you're gonna get back out your pen and paper or hop into a Word doc. And I want you to go ahead and write about all of the things that you envision when you think about this value. So for instance, if one of my values is play, I'd be like running around on the beach, you know, three-legged races, having margaritas and dancing bachata, you know, whatever it is, like yellow, red, laughing with friends. Like it can be memories, it can be colors, it can be, you know, visions, like whatever comes to you is perfect. So I'm going to give you 3 minutes to write out all of that, everything that comes to mind for you when you think about that value. Any questions? No? Go.
Any visions about what we want? Yeah.
Not about what you want, about just like when you think about it, like connection, like what do you see? Craig, did I answer your question or are you still unclear? You're good. Okay. Take about another 30 seconds. All right, y'all. So I need another volunteer. John, how about you? I haven't heard from you as much as I want to. Are you up for it?
Yeah, sure. I actually, it's quite confronting because I chose openness. And now that you asked me, I'm like, I don't want to speak.
We're raising your value.
So you nailed it. So you got me.
Thanks for being willing. Thanks for being
I just got stopped there. Like I wrote a couple of things down and then I thought, what else do I put down? Like, I don't know what else to write. So I guess that's me not being open.
well, starting to play with openness to even be
yeah.
in it. Right?
So I wrote vulnerable, I wrote communicate, I wrote free to express, and I kind of stopped there.
Yeah. Let's just play with it a little bit more now. Inviting in the spirit of openness, and I'm going to invite you to blurt. So I'm going to ask you a few questions and I just want you to like blurt out whatever it is that comes to you.
Okay.
So when you hear openness, John, what colors come to mind?
Oh, wow. Yellow.
Nice, good. What animals come to mind?
Animals. Dog.
Nice. And is there like, what memory pops into your head? Doesn't have to do anything with openness, but what's the memory that pops into your head?
Singing on stage when I was 10.
Nice, good, awesome. Thank you. I acknowledge your openness and just blurting things out. So what you're going to do and what I want to invite all of us to do is to look at what you wrote down and you are going to rename this value. Right? So you're going to rename the value in a way that's actually more aligned for you. Because when I say openness and John says openness and Craig says openness, that actually might mean different things for all of us. We each have our own like different flavor of values. So John, for you, it might be like yellow dog singing on stage, whatever it is. So go ahead and take a moment and just look at what you wrote down and rename that value. And it could be a single word, it can be a phrase, it can be a sentence. And when you've got it, go ahead and type "got it" in the chat box. Awesome. Let's go ahead and start hearing from a few people who have it while other folks are working theirs out. Julie, what did you rename your value? What was the original value and what did you rename it? You're muted. John, please unmute Julie.
So what it was before was fun. And then after doing, so fun actually happened while I was doing this. So there's kitties outside, like stray cats, and one of them came up to the door. So I just have to put that out there. But I wrote down pink orange sparkles is the new name for it. Or
Yes.
kitty TV is what I call when the kitties are outside.
Yeah, I think your definition of fun and my definition of fun are probably pretty similar.
Yeah.
Thank you. Madeline, how about you? Might have to unmute you as well. Oh.
Okay, so mine is connection, and I renamed it as companionship.
Gorgeous. Let's hear from one more. Eloah, Brandon, Craig, what you got?
I'm excited to share. So I thought my name was so incredible already because it was out of this world, and it turned into locked eye gazes and wild ocean.
Ooh, yum. Snaps from Brandon, hearts from Juliet. So good. Awesome. So the final part of this exercise is really to think about how you can raise that number from where it was to where it is every day. And the first time I heard that, I was super confronted. I was like, I was working with my value of adventure, which translates to dancing naked in the desert. And I was like, how the hell do I get that in my day to day? Like, I can't just fly to Rio, or I can't just, do this. And then it hit me that I'd been making adventure like so out of reach for myself that it was actually impacting my quality of life. So it was snowing outside, and I put on some snow boots, and I went outside and I danced to James Brown in the snow in my boots. And it was like such an adventure and so satisfying. And suddenly my quality of life like went through the roof. Like I felt so much more me. So take a moment and throw in the chat box, what's one way you see that you could start upping that number of the quality you identified? Gorgeous, y'all. I'd also invite you to take those values and to post them somewhere where you'll see them. And as you're making decisions in the coming days, really focus in on how can you become more aligned with those values? How can you have more of, the wild ocean, or how can you have more of the yellow dog singing on stage? Like what does that look like for you today? Because the more that we can align and lock into place with those values, the better our life is going to become, and the more self-love we can actually experience. So thank you all so much. This was such a pleasure. Heads up, I put a couple things in the goodie bag. One was a free month of virtual co-working. The other was a free 30-minute coaching session with me. And those are only good until midnight Eastern tonight. So if you want to grab those, feel free to hop onto the amazing packet that Eloah sent out, which was absolutely gorgeous, and snag those before they expire tonight. And I'd love to hear, as we wrap up, I want to give Eloah a few minutes to introduce the next presenter, but what are your takeaways? And I think we have time to hear from everyone. So let's start with Craig. Craig, what are your takeaways? And John, we might need you to unmute everyone. Great.
Well, look, a spotlight. My takeaways for this were giving yourself the time to look at that which you genuinely appreciate, and then generating an understanding of what it is and why it is that you appreciate those things. and then redeveloping your understanding of what all of those things mean now that you found out what they are.
Amazing. And I'm going to tag Brandon, and go ahead and just tag the next person. We're going to move through quick.
Cool. My biggest takeaway was, like, I loved how just thinking about one instance where I felt like truly me gave rise to, you know, this like very real version of me for random strangers to then see and be like, oh yeah, these are some core values that you have. I thought that was really, really cool. Madeline, why don't you go next?
Okay, thanks. Mine stays the same as previously. I've done this a similar exercise on my values, and that just sort of reassured me that my values are definitely it. It can't be anything else. So that was nice. And I also take away that I need to grab my goodie bag thingy because I need to see you again, Megan.
Yeah, there's so much good stuff in those goodie bags, y'all. Like, grab it.
Anyway, this is very, very, very cool. And thank you so much. Okay,
Yeah.
Juliet, you're on.
I took away that it's nice to come back to this exercise because we did this like, I think a month ago, actually exactly a month ago. And I looked at like what we had picked out the last time and what came out now. And I think my baseline has gotten a little bit higher, like by like 1 or 2 points. So I think it's like a process of coming back. What is this? How can I do this for myself? So it was a really nice reminder, is my takeaway.
And I'll choose John to go next.
Yeah, I'm just really inspired by what everyone said and creating these colorful values. And I just get that this is a discovery, you know, just really being so openness as a discovery for a conversation, just to connect. And yeah, Yellow Dog singing on stage, I kind of like that, so I stuck with it. And just really, it's just really, yeah, it's a discovery, and thank you so much for opening that door. Thank you.
And this is perfect. We'll end on Eloah, who can share her takeaways and then introduce our next amazing host.
Thank you. Did everybody else go already? Yeah? Okay. My takeaway was this image of dancing naked in the desert and the making things out of reach for ourselves, right? And just the missing in my life of making it easier for me to have out of this world experiences. Like making it very simple. That's my takeaway. Yeah. Oh, thank you so much, Megan. Once again, it's magic being with you, and you know, your gift to bring people together and include everyone. Yeah, Megan just popped her email in the chat, so feel free to reach out to her. Go definitely grab a session, a coaching session with her, and sign up for the co-working. Yeah, and can't wait to our next adventure together. Thank you so much. All right.
Thanks, Megan.